Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock. What's game day ready shirt from Brock? Brock, the Badgers Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. You need an orthopedist? You go to Brock. You need a roof? You call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and On Fire Athletes, the platform powered by GameCoin. Check it out, onfireathletes.com. Okay, y'all, we have got a lot to get into. What a newsy day Friday turned out to be. LSU ends up in a matter of minutes apart getting the transfer commitment from Josh Thompson, the offensive lineman from Northwestern, and then literally minutes later, the Harold Perkins news dropped. The Harold Perkins news that I've been waiting for a week. We had the we had the report written, we had the graphic done. We all last Saturday when I found out Perkins was returning, and it was just he was doing his video and everything like that. And so I was sitting in my for a week just waiting for it. I was like, well, anytime you want to drop it, Perk, go ahead, dog. So anyway, Harold Perkins is returning and LSU lands Josh Thompson. So I have two separate Locked On episodes, by the way, if you're interested. I recorded a bonus Locked On Friday just on Perkins, and then the Saturday episode, which is live now, is on Josh Thompson. So if you want to go deeper into those two things, it's there for you. But the Perkins news is significant. I know there's people who have maybe become a little frustrated by the perceived lack of productivity. I go through all that. The bottom line is you're not a better defense without Harold Perkins. The onus is on Blake Baker and his staff to maximize that player. You have an amazing talent. You've got to maximize him. The thing that you'll all be glad to hear is that I was told a week ago when I was told Perkins had made the decision to return that he has agreed to come back, and he's playing the star position. So he's not going to play off-ball linebacker. He's playing star, which is where Major Burns was this year. And Major Burns was your lowest graded defensive starter by Pro Football Focus. So you will dramatically upgrade at that spot with Harold Perkins. And you add another freakish pass rusher. I mean, keep in mind, one of the things when teams broke the huddle, they would say, okay, we're 7 or 4 or 40, right? Whatever number he wore in his 3 years. Now, okay, do that. And then what do you do with Patrick Payton? And what do you do with Jack Pyburn? And what do you do with Jamari Butler? And what do you do with Whit Weeks? Did I just go through 5 names before I got to Whit Weeks, who's a monster? Yes. Harold Perkins coming back is great news for LSU. Again, I have a full Locked On LSU episode on that if you want to check podcast or YouTube. And then Josh Thompson is it's really interesting because, a few days ago, earlier in the week, all the guys, Pete Nakos, Steve Wiltfongs, and it's all those guys had all reported that Thompson was, they'd all put in their predictions for Thompson to Tennessee. And then I got a call yesterday that Thompson committed, and he was announcing his commitment to LSU on Friday. And apparently there's 2 things. Obviously, the money has to be there. If the money isn't there, you don't pick up the phone. So that's part of it. The other part that I was told is that Garrett Nussmeier did an incredible job of recruiting Josh Thompson. And it makes sense for a couple of reasons. First of all, Thompson played for a crappy Northwestern program and wants to go win, wants to go somewhere where he has a chance to win. And look, Tennessee, I get, was just in the playoff, but look at the 2 rosters now. Tennessee's had 17 players into the portal, 7 since the playoff. How much do you really believe in Nico? Whereas LSU, you have Nussmeier coming back, so you're settled at quarterback. You know that offense is going to be fun to watch. They've bolstered the defense, and what you really need is plug and play help on the offensive line, losing 4 starters. So you've gotten Braylon Moore at center. Now you've got Josh Thompson. What was also interesting about Thompson is some of my friends that cover Tennessee were kind of talking, on text yesterday, and the numbers from the Tennessee side were way bigger than what LSU committed to Josh Thompson in NIL. LSU landed on a number in the mid 6 figures, which is amazing. I mean, think about that. Like, how many How many people will never make mid six figures in a year? Here you have a college senior going to make that for 1 year of football. That's incredible. Good for him. But the numbers I was hearing from Tennessee was that they believed it was high six figures. And I'm here to tell you it wasn't. It was mid six figures. So I don't know if that's people at Tennessee trying to save face or if Thompson took less to come to LSU. And I would find that hard to believe in the NIL era that someone with a 1 year shot to make as much money as possible would take that much less. But either way, had Tip Garrett Nussmeier, who deserves, as I understand it, a lot of credit for recruiting Josh Thompson, did a great job convincing him to come. And listen, for Nussmeier, if you go back over the last month, or really the month before Nussmeier made his decision to return, we talked about it a lot here. Nuss wanted three things. Who's calling plays? Who am I throwing the football to? And who's protecting me? Well, they've clearly answered the first two. But the third one, who is protecting me, was still up in the air. Well, now you got Braylon Moore. You've added Josh Thompson. And I'm sure someone's going to ask this question because we've talked about the silent commits for a bit, that I've opined that based on information I have, I believe LSU has a silent commit on the offensive line and at safety from players still in the playoff. And when I asked about that yesterday, I was told effectively that the player, and again, nobody has told me team or name. I do not of the silent commit. So I do not know team or name of player for the silent commit at offensive line or safety. But what I kind of get the sense is that that's kind of becoming a bidding war for that offensive lineman. And LSU will walk away at a certain point. And so they like him. They want him. They're committed to him, whoever this person is. I don't know who it is. But and my guess is it'll reveal itself eventually, right? Whether this person ends up at LSU or not. There'll be a big-time offensive tackle that goes to the portal and lands somewhere. But they want him, but they're not going to go crazy in the same way that they wouldn't go crazy for Cade Phillips or Jakeem Stewart or Bryce Underwood. And we've seen that's a prudent way to do things, and it's the right way to do things. So depending on if that player lands in this class for LSU, Thompson can play either guard or tackle. So he played right tackle in 2023 and played right guard this year. So he could play either guard or tackle depending on what happens with the rest of the portal cycle. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. As always, all of our great sponsors are linked in the description on YouTube. They're tagged on Facebook, so please support our great sponsors. Let's say some good mornings here. Hey, Wendell, Alex, Kelly, Chef, Truax. What up, Truax? Devin, will Notre Dame beat Georgia? I have Georgia winning the national title, Devin. I have Georgia beating Texas in the national championship game. Georgia's a slight favorite. I think the huge unknown, obviously, is quarterback with Gunnar Stockton. But I still think Georgia is a better roster and wins the game. Bubba, Toki Doki, Hunter, absolutely, man. Thank you so much for watching and listening, man. Hey, Brian, good morning. Yep. Gulf South, what up, man? Good morning. Yeah. Merrick, good morning. Thomas, yeah, what a day, man. You hit the low point with the Underwood, Phillips, Jakeem Stewart news, but since then everything has been on the up, right? You finished solid on signing day. You flipped Solomon Thomas on signing day, 5-star interior offensive lineman. You got Nuss coming back. I mean, and then this portal class. I mean, everything has. The one thing you haven't done is land an elite safety. But again, as I understand it, they got a silent commit from, as I believe, they got a silent commit from someone currently still playing. So if that comes true, I mean, you nailed it. Now you got to go win. Hey, Brennan, good morning. Hey, Mark, good morning. Need a new roof, possibly to rain and tornadoes. Well, Mark, if you do, let me know. Love to help. Obviously, Paris Construction and Roofing. Let's hope that the weather isn't too severe. I know it's supposed to be bad today. It's supposed to be rainy and nasty. But hope everybody's safe today. But if y'all do have any roof issues, give us a shout. We're happy to help. Paris Construction and Roofing. Gary, hope you had a good Christmas. Has been a month yet to find out about the transfer players we got. It'll be the 4th, January the 4th. So what he's referring to is on signing day, my mantra that I said over and over was, ask me in a month. Ask me in a month. When everybody was melting, I said, all right, let's see who you get back. Let's see how you finish the class. Let's see who you get in the portal. Ask me in a month. Because the approach was, we're not going to overpay for those guys that I mentioned to have money to spend to retain our roster and to go into the portal. That was the approach from LSU. And I think they've nailed it. But my thing was, I'll give them the month. I'll give them a month to see how it plays. This is their plan. They have a plan. Let's see how they execute their plan and then judge them. Let's see. Mark. Yeah, I saw that, man. So Shelton Sampson lands at ULL with the Cajuns. So he'll be catching passes from Walker Howard. That's probably going to be a good connection there in Lafayette for those two guys. Good luck to them both. Robert Mason, morning, Matt. Any names pop up with the remaining safeties in bowl games? Nope. Don't know the name. Alvino, good morning, team No Sleep here. Alvino's a new dad for, I guess for the final time, right? He told us this will be his final baby, but Alvino, Christmas baby, right? I mean, I know it was Christmas morning whenever you jumped in, but I don't know if your son was born on Christmas or Christmas Eve or around there, but yeah. I believe that's the case for Team No Sleep. Good luck to you, though, man. Just glad mom and baby are great. Chance, can you estimate LSU starting defense for next season? Yeah. I would say Jacoby and Guillory, Dominic McKinley at defensive tackle. I would say Jack Pyburn and Patrick Payton at defensive end, with Jamari Butler is one, and Gabriel Rutherford as your rotating pieces there. Your off-ball linebackers, I would say, would be Whit Weeks. Well, it's either West or Devon Keys. And I might go Devon Keys, but it could be West Weeks or Devon. Let's go Devon Keys. Harold Perkins at the star. At corner, see, this is what's interesting because I don't know what to do with Mansour Delane. At corner, you get Stamps, Pickett, Jakeem Jackson, and Mansour Delane, and then PJ Woodland as well. But if I'm just picking two, I'd probably go Pickett and Stamps. And then at safety, I'd have Delane and whoever the transfer safety is. That's the unknown as of this point. That's who I would think would be your starters. That means Jordan Gilbert probably loses a starting spot, depending on what happens. Mark asked how much LSU had to pay to keep Perkins. I don't know that answer. It's a question I probably should have asked and will. But yesterday, the Josh Thompson thing happened. It was like all morning, and then was following that story, waiting for that news. And like as we're pumping out all our content about Thompson, that's when Perkins dropped his video. So I was like, so I had to pivot there, but I'll get it for you. Deshaun, good morning. Staff must not be interested. So I did ask about Jacoby Matthews yesterday, and the Jacoby, that would be effectively LSU has not made contact with Jacoby Matthews yet, and that would be like a last resort, as I understand it. So I know sometimes we get sort of enamored with former 5-star, this and that. Yep. Hang on one second. I'll be right back. You know what? Actually, hang on. Hang on, Thomas. We'll knock this out early for you. Hang on. I got to get Drew out of his bed. Hang on one second. Here you go, Thomas.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built. Parish Built. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Okay. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all for being there. There you go, Thomas. We got it out the way early today. Let's see. Found my spot again. My apologies. Podcast guy can kick rocks for calling out Scone in the Perkins news. The guy. That guy in the comments that said Perkins was going to Ole Miss. Like, literally last Saturday, they made the final decision and they were putting together his announcement video. So that was done. So the guy's like, "Oh, he's going to Ole Miss." I mean, literally putting together the announcement video. Anyway. Andy, morning, Matt. Do you have any updates on Dan Bornay? I don't, Andy, but I'm happy to ask. Andrew, all we need now is an additional safety. We're set, and hopefully one more offensive lineman. There you go, Thomas. Already got it for you. Tired of seeing all the he should leave comments. Dude is hungry, wants a natty with his. It's true. Like, I'll say it again. You are not a better team without Harold Perkins. That is a freakishly athletic guy. You have got to maximize his ability. That's on your coaching. How about the Trojans, Texas 8-5, A&M blew. A&M was up 17 in the second half and blew that lead. As someone who had A&M minus 3.5, not thrilled about it. Yeah, Merrick, sounds like it's going good, man. Gregory, good morning. Lewis, good morning. Looks like the Saints will have the 10th pick in the draft. If so, should they trade back? Yeah, I'm with you, Lewis. They just never do. I mean, sure. Should they? Okay. They just never do. So as long as Mickey Loomis is running the organization, there's no sense in having that conversation. It's not something they do. The Saints move up. They don't move back. It's just their strategy. So we can have all the conversation about why they should and accumulate assets and all. They just don't do it. Tigers, is it smart for us to play in this game? Sure. Daniel, love our linebacker talent now for the future. Good. Hey, come see. I want to see your jammies. Come see. Let's show everybody your Grinch jammies. Look at your Grinch jammies. Look at this guy.
Go this way.
Go this way. Look at this guy with his little Grinch jammies. Who's on your jammies?
Gwen.
Gwinch. Okay.
Go this.
Those look like comfy jammies.
Go this.
Go this way. All right. We'll see you later. All right. Mark Allen, 6 figures proven offensive lineman is well worth it. It's funny how the conversation's changed, right? About NIL and what players are worth and whatnot. Hey, Dad, good morning. Aiden and I are watching. Good morning, Aiden. Hope you're doing awesome. That's my little godchild. They're up in Kansas right now, probably freezing their T-Heinies off, I'll bet. Meanwhile, it's 70 degrees today and it's supposed to storm today. Ugh. 70 degrees right now. Tornado watch today. Ooh. Tornado watch till 3 p.m. My goodness. It's going to rain. Hey, Philip, good morning. Great Locked On episodes. Thank you. Now that the roster is starting to take shape, what are some realistic expectations for 2025? I mean, Philip, like, it is reasonable to expect this team to be in the college football playoff. If they are not in the playoff, that is a massive disappointment. That's where you start. Now, the question is, when you get there, what is your what's your draw look like? Are you playing in the first round? Do you have a bye? Do you have a home game? All that sort of stuff matters, like in every tournament. I mean, your draw matters. So look at Oregon. Oregon might be the best team in the country, most complete team in the country. They got a terrible draw. So they may not win it. But if LSU's not in the playoff next year, hey, Guy Brooks, good morning. Hope you're enjoying time off with family. Thank you, man. I am. Definitely enjoying the downtime. Captain Eli, good morning. Pumped for next year. First child will be born. She will hopefully get to see LSU in a fifth natty. We're taking receipts, seeing the championship. He wasn't lying about that, was he? Wilk, all right, starting 11 on offense. All right, so obviously Nussmeier, quarterback, Caden Dermott, running back. I'll say Bauer Sharp at tight end. I'll go Nick Anderson and Aaron Anderson at receiver. And then throw Barry and Brown in there. I think they go 3 receivers instead of 2-back set. And so then Braylon Moore at center. This is the tricky one, right? I'll go Braylon Moore at center, Josh Thompson at right guard, the silent commit, whoever that is, at right tackle, DJ Chester at left guard, Tyree Adams at left tackle. Best guess right now. Hey, Lance, good morning. Playoff or bust. Jesse Brown, yep. Samson going to ULL. Gulf South, past 2 years, a big rumor was Perkins' family camp was kind of dictating what position Perkins played, where else he would transfer. Do you know if there's any truth to that? I mean, Gulf South, I'm one of the ones that was saying that, and it was true. Like, that go this way before last season, 23, Perkins wanted to play off-ball linebacker. And so they gave him a shot to do it. It didn't work well, and they moved him to the nickel Sam. That was in 23. And then they brought in Blake Baker, and they wanted to give it another go. So they did for that reason. Yes. I mean, I'm one of the ones, I might be the one who first said that. Yes, absolutely. There was truth to that. Because Harold Perkins wanted to prove he could be a 3-down linebacker. I mean, I asked him about that at SEC Media Days. In our one-on-one. So yeah, I mean, absolutely there was truth to that. And I don't blame him, for wanting to try that. It's the different, it's not Gulf South. It's not any different than Jack Pyburn coming here wanting to be a 3-down defensive end who can rush the passer, because Florida was using him as a run stuffer, and then they were taking him off the field or dropping him in coverage, and he wasn't rushing the passer. I mean, he told me in the interview I did with him, point blank, he said, I'm an effective pass rusher. I want to be an elite pass rusher. He said he was coming here. He didn't fit in that defense. He wanted to play in a defense that was an attacking style where he can go rush the passer. And that's okay, man. Gio Paez said that to me last year. He said, I was playing end in a 3-4. I wanted to go somewhere where I could play on a gap, on the interior, and I could go make plays instead of just eating up blocks for other people to make plays. So he came to LSU. So yeah, I mean, I think that's not an uncommon thing. So, but yes, that's absolutely true. But last Saturday, when I was told that Harold had made the decision to return, I was also told that he is coming back to play the star position. He will take Major Burns' spot, and he will play the star next year. So now, if he came to that decision or they convinced him to or whatever, I don't know all that at this point. And I'm sure we'll get that answer, but I was told point blank, he's coming back and he's playing the star position. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Is Thompson going to be good in the SEC? Michigan blew him up, though. I haven't seen the Michigan tape. I did not watch Michigan and Northwestern. That said, Michigan's defensive front was awesome. They got a bunch of first rounders. What I can tell you is if you go look at Pro Football Focus, Josh Thompson's run blocking grade would have been the highest on LSU's team this year, and his pass blocking grade was higher than Will Campbell's. Now, granted, he was an interior player, so it's a little different, but you're going to give me a fifth-year player who's a two-year starter who started at both guard and tackle, or a first-time starter from LSU, from one of the young guys. Give me the veteran, at least as an option. Hey, Gunner, hope Santa brought you everything you wanted. Thanks, man. I'm counting Perk as a Christmas miracle. Avner, good morning. Trivia, good morning. John, is always great content. Thank you so much. Of course, man. Thanks for being there, John. All good, man. Ronnie, Brad, were you a fan of Greg Gumbel? Yeah, man. I saw that yesterday. How sad was that? Greg was in his 70s, had cancer, apparently. Longtime NFL and CBS host, and of course, the NCAA tournament, studio host for the NCAA tournament for so many years. Greg Gumbel, someone that we all saw in our homes for decades, man. What a career, what a life. Rest in peace and condolences to his family for sure. Kobe, what's your morning routine? Like on a work day or a school day, like for Drew. Depends. I either wake up at 5:20. Well, I get up at 5:25 every day. I get up at 5:25 and I go get Drew's backpack feed, like his feeding tube ready, and then I start it so it's done and digested by the time he wakes up. I depending on how I feel, either run over to Hot Works and get a 30-minute workout in, or I get back in bed and sleep for an extra hour. Then 6:40-ish, I cold plunge, get clean, get dressed, stop Drew's backpack, push his meds, make my coffee, and take my supplements, and do morning scone. On school days, it's 7:15 to 7:45, and then I get Drew dressed. We're out the house by 8, drop him off, and then I'm off to work or whatever I have that day. On a Saturday, like today, I slept till 8:30. Got up, cold plunged, went and did my supplements, and now coffee. I got Ross Jackson's column posted today. It's up at LouisianaSports.net if you're interested. But pretty regimented, like to the minute during work days. Todd, yeah, sorry, man, nothing on the rehab, but it looks like it's going good. Carl, shout out Stephen Miller's daughter, Ryan, being the Tech dance team. Okay, dancing halftime in the Pez Bowl. Very cool, man. I didn't know Stephen's daughter was dancing for Tech. That's great, man. Stephen doesn't look old enough to have a daughter at Tech. But that's awesome, man. Shout out. Ronnie Duga. Yeah, man. Hope you're doing great, Ronnie. Hope you're doing well, man. Haven't forgot. Still thinking about you. Still praying for you, man. Hope everything's going great for you. How does LSU match up with Baylor? Actually, there's a piece up at the LouisianaSports.net breaking down the matchups with LSU and Baylor. Pretty good. You basically have 2 good offenses and 2 bad defenses. So which defense can get stops? Merrick, where does the portal class rank? Kind of depends who you ask. I've seen it as high as 2. I've seen it as low as 7. But I think it's so much more about, did you fill needs with starting caliber players? And the answer is resoundingly yes. Do you think LSU has a chance to win the College World Series? Absolutely. They got some amazing arms in the portal. Danny Dickinson, who's probably going to be your starting second baseman. You return Milam, you return Braswell, you return Bear Jones. some of the young talent in the outfield, like Larson and Jake Brown, getting a year older. I mean, yes, absolutely they do. Steve, good morning. Fired up for the bowl game. Always enjoy watching the show. Thanks, Steve. Very kind of you, man. Appreciate that. Caleb, yes, sir. Perry from Colorado Springs. Let's see. How many portal pieces left for LSU to add? It's either one or two. They're going to add a safety. That's 100% for sure going to add a safety. And then apparently there's an offensive tackle that's on a current playoff team that they're after, and we'll see if that happens. Let's see, Duval. Morning, Matt. A&M going to A&M. 1-4 to finish the season after beating LSU. That's one that's hard to believe you lost still. David Tolson, good morning from the Springs. Go this way. Make defense great again. What do you think about the job Ole Miss has done in the portal? I think they're right behind LSU. Do you think they will stay on par as long as Lane is there? So here's the thing about Ole Miss's portal class. Last year, they signed it. So last year, they signed 30 guys in the portal. 29, maybe. Hang on. Let me get the exact numbers for you. Okay. That's Oregon. I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't mean to get bogged down with this. Last year, they signed like 30 guys out of the portal. 29, 30, something like that. And I think the real challenge is you're going to have massive turnover. Here it is. It's 26. Last year, they added 26 via the portal. This year, they've lost 15 from the portal. And they've added 15 from the portal. But the 15 that you've lost, remember, you've also got to account for guys that are going pro, guys that are out of eligibility, et cetera. So like Jackson Dart and Walter Nolan, some of those types of guys. So I don't know that your numbers are equitable yet. The other thing, too, is like, for example, they've added guys that were former 5-stars in Deshaun Womack and Sage Ryan. I'll use those two because we know them well. You could look at Sage Ryan and go, man, there's a guy that's played in 35 career games, whatever it is, former 5-star coming from an SEC school, and go, man, that's a great get. But you and I know, like, that's a downgrade at safety for Ole Miss. You know, Deshaun Womack, I think, is a really good pass rusher. He's not a 3-down lineman. You want to put him on the field, go rush the pass on 3rd down? Cool. You want to put him on the field for 3 downs, try to stop the run? You're in trouble. So I don't know. I can't tell you I know everything about every player that Ole Miss has signed, but I'm kind of doing math in my head going, hey, buddy, go this way. I'm doing the math going, last year you brought in 26. This year you brought in 15. You got 15 going out. You got transfer. You got graduation. You've got go this way. You got NFL. I'm going, the numbers don't compute right now for Ole Miss. So I don't know that they can be done yet. Hey, Juan, can you give us some winners or boys in a slump? I was on a roll, man. He hit 4 in a row, and then we missed the last 2 yesterday. We missed with Texas Tech, and we missed with Texas A&M. So, and I don't know who he's got today. Ryan, I like ASU. I feel like ASU is built to beat Texas. I do think you're crazy. I do not think Arizona State will beat Texas. Christian, A&M blew a huge lead. Saw that. Let's see. Kobe, Mississippi State fan. Love watching your show. Thanks so much, man. Very kind of you. Everyone's welcome. Good morning. Everyone's welcome here. Any word on Jacoby Matthews? Yeah, someone asked that a bit ago. Again, what I was told is I did ask yesterday that LSU's not made contact yet, and that would be a last resort. So I don't think that's where LSU is going for safety with Jacoby Matthews. If they do, it's a last resort. Weston, morning, Matt from Santa's Wonderland in College Station. Had my fill of Maggie shirts. Why are you over there, Weston? There you go, man. God, I'm behind, huh? Sorry, yeah, I'm like 20 minutes behind. Let's see. Thought LSU had an NAL portal package ready for Matthews a year ago. No contact, last resort. Yeah, Gulf South, remember, it's not even a full year. Remember, that was spring. So they were... Remember where LSU was a year ago, right? You had 9 guys via the portal. You clearly were looking bargain basement. Like they clearly weren't as aggressive or spending as aggressively in the portal as they are now. And then obviously Jacoby was in spring ball with A&M. And I can only relate with the A&M guys because I don't cover A&M. I don't know the inner workings of that program. But my friends that cover A&M that I talked to about Jacoby Matthews in media days kind of relayed the story that, you know, when Jimbo went out and Elko's staff came in, maybe he didn't conform to the new staff as well. But like that happens. I mean, you're recruited by and play for a certain coach, and then new people come in with new ideas and new terminology and new ways of doing things, and sometimes it just doesn't gel. So he left after spring, and that's when it was like he was interested in LSU and Ole Miss, and obviously he couldn't transfer within the league, and so he didn't play this year. But he's looking for a place to. But look at where LSU is now. They've just got a much different reality than it was last spring. Thoughts on the reports of Mickey hiring someone somebody knows? Yeah, you're talking about the Saints. And Ross Jackson, by the way, is gonna have a piece. He's writing it right now. He's texting. Like that report will be up soon at LouisianaSports.net. It's not surprising. I mean, that's the path he's followed since he's been here. So, not surprised by it. So. Hey, JD, good morning. Hope you're doing awesome, man. Hope you and your fam had a great Christmas. Gwen, good morning from Matsu. Happy New Year. Misses the E-Rock and Drew's block party. You got it, man. Hope all is great. Looks like the transfer class is shaping up. Maybe a couple more pieces. Yeah, I mean, should be a contender. Robbie, does the portal close today? So, yes. With a caveat, Robbie. Remember, every team, their portal window extends 5 days after the bowl game. So, for example, LSU plays on Tuesday. So LSU portal window extends, like players on the team could still go into the portal 5 days after the bowl game. So that would be the 4th. Or maybe the 5th. I don't know if they count it on that or they got the 4th or 5th either way. Go this way. So, I mean, you have teams, Robbie, who will play. 2 teams will play on January the 20th, and their players will have 5 days after that to enter the portal. So, yes, the portal closes today with the caveat that teams still playing, their portal window extends 5 days beyond. Taro, how important is culture fit and player attitude when evaluating transfer targets? I think it probably goes team by team. I think it matters, but I also think talent wins out. It's just different now, man. It just is, you know. Time for Loomis to be fired. I'm with you, man. Okay, born in 12-19. Okay, got it. Yes, and championship or bust. I mean, I think, Alvino, it's playoff or bust. Like, if you're not in the playoff, that's a failure. Like, that has got to be your baseline expectation. But it's like we always talk about with, like we always talk about with LSU baseball. Like, this was always my point with Maneri when people would get upset at the losing in the postseason. It was like Maneri, like all you can do is put together a roster and make decisions to put yourself in the best position to get to Omaha, and then hope when you get there you play your best over 8 days in Omaha. Or I guess now it's closer to 2 weeks in Omaha. Like, the 2013, 2015, 2017 teams were all awesome and all capable of winning a national championship. But you go up there and, Eric Walker blows out. And you're in the championship series and they call a bogus, runner's interference. Kramer gets gunned down at the plate. I mean, any one of those moments are different. Maybe you win a national championship. It's just like when there's a true playoff, there's just things that you can't control. So, but you got to be in the tournament to have a chance. So that's a baseline expectation for next year at this point. D. Granger, congrats on being a great dad, Matt. Well, thank you. But I mean, we should all be, right? I don't think you should be congratulated on something that you should just do. But being Drew's dad's the best job in the world. But thank you. Hey, Rick, good morning. David, I'm not going to Clemson. How do you think the CFP will change for next year? Good question, JD. They can't change the format, so it's going to be 12 again next year. But they can tweak things like, for example, the seeding is the big thing, right? That everyone's talked about, given the top 4 conference champions buys. It was absurd that Arizona State and Boise State got buys this year, and that Oregon ends up with the toughest draw. So, I would like to see them award, seed according to rankings and then reseed after the opening round, to where the teams that got the buys, whoever the 1 seed was, like you do in the NFL, the 1 seed plays the lowest remaining seed. That's how it should be. And then you fill in everything after that. Hunter, realistic record next year? Hard to imagine anybody going undefeated, but say you drop one somewhere. 11-1. In 10-2. Tennessee got in this year at 10-2. Anything less than 10-2 is going to feel like a major disappointment. Fifth-year senior quarterback returning, all that you've added in the portal. And the way you've recruited, anything less than 10-2 is going to feel like a massive, massive failure. Craig, what's going on, man? Good morning. Derek, what's good, man? Let's see. More pressure on Kelly for 25 thus far. No excuses. I agree with you there. Michael, with an opening on the coaching staff, will Kelly hire a dedicated special teams coordinator? Doubt it. He hasn't done it so far. And remember, the other thing to keep in mind is analysts now can coach on the field. And so Bob Diaco is an analyst who actually has been working with special teams. So I think, and I want to big flashing neon. Okay. This is my opinion. Big flashing neon lights. I'm not telling you something I know. I'm giving you my opinion. Okay. We're all clear on this. I'm not breaking news. I'm not telling you what's going to happen. I'm giving you my opinion. Are we all clear? My opinion. My opinion is that he's going to hire Tommy Rees. That's my opinion. Okay. I've not been told that. I don't know that. I'm using context clues. Slade Nagel's been gone a month. They haven't replaced him yet. Tommy Rees is someone Brian Kelly hired at Notre Dame, tried to hire him at LSU, stayed at Notre Dame, then went to Alabama. Now he's with the Cleveland Browns. Coaching tight ends. By the way, who just left? Your tight end coach. You want to get Tommy Rees on campus or on staff? Hire him to be your tight ends coach. And then if in a year, 2 years, whatever, Joe Sloan goes and gets a head coaching job, which Joe wants to, and I think he will get eventually, Tommy becomes your OC. That's what opinion, okay? It's my opinion. Not breaking news here. I don't need that clipped. I don't need that put everywhere. Scone said, no. My opinion. Last week when I told you that I thought Harold Perkins was coming back, I knew Harold Perkins was coming back because he had already told him and they were making the video. Yesterday when I tweeted, after multiple reports that Northwestern OL Josh Thompson was trending toward Tennessee. LSU has made a major move. Expect the final decision soon, but Tigers are in a good spot. Yesterday when I tweeted that, I'd already been told that he committed, but I was letting the kid have his commitment moment. Take that, Nakos. Anyway, this, I'm giving you an opinion. We clear? Okay. All right, please, 350 watching. I love that. Please smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Brett, if LSU wins the Natty, clipping the video, you making the putt in your golf Christmas mug. That's so good. So Erica gave me it's a coffee mug. It's like a picture of a golf scene, and there's like a hole in the bottom, and it came with the little putter and the miniature golf ball. And so I sat here and I was like, if I make it, they're winning the Natty. And so I made like a 2-inch putt. So anyway, Cortland, good morning. Brennan, why don't some people understand that contacting another player's agent isn't? Yeah. Joseph, good morning. Chris, good morning. HD, with NIL and bowl games, do players get some cash or check? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, yes. So you do get you still get the bowl swag bag, by the way. So if y'all were watching, this was funny. If y'all were watching the A&M USC game, so A&M is an Adidas school. Their contract is with Adidas. But one of the bowl gifts, they gave every player custom Nikes. So you have, on the show, on the broadcast, they're showing the A&M football team in their Adidas sweatsuit, like warm-ups, opening Nike boxes and going crazy over their custom Jordans. I was like, oh, can you imagine being an Adidas rep for A&M and seeing that video on the bowl game? Whoo, boy. Randall, good to see you there, Randall. John, my cold plunge is to just go stand outside for a few minutes in Chicago. Yeah. But John, water is multitudes of magnitude more absorbable by the body than air. So that's why you can die in 70-degree water. You can't die in 70-degree air. So just going to get in, like I've set my cold plunge somewhere in the 50s, temperature in the 50s, just getting in cold water for 3 to 6 minutes is exponentially more beneficial than like just standing outside in 30-degree weather. Let's see. Leslie, good morning. Scotty Mack, what's good? When should I buy you a burger? We'll do it next week when we're back at work, man. So Scotty Mack and I, shout out Scotty Mack, middays on Eagle 98.1, also our production director over at Guarantee Media. Scotty and I had a season-long bet about the University of Texas. Told him I opined that Texas would make the SEC championship game. He did not believe. And it's not that I thought Texas was this amazing team. I just looked at their schedule and was like, yeah, they're going to be there. So anyway, so Scotty Mack owes me a burger. We got our burger bet coming due soon. Gulf South, let's see, next year's absolute playoff or bust at a minimum. The season was a bust. No excuses for finishing unranked. Agree with all that. BK is safe due to Woodward's contract. Agree with all that. But I also think I can also understand trying to learn how to balance the scale of roster building in a new era. From having to bring in so many portal guys year one, to missing on some of those portal guys year two, to going lesser in the portal year three, and now like finding that sweet spot. Maybe it is the 12 to 15 impact portal guys, which is what you have to really target every year, as opposed to 9 guys that are just going to be contributors. Let's see. Is there a concern you have a number of guys at LSU will depend on coming off injuries? Not really. Especially because we see the guys come off those injuries and have success all the time. It's not like in basketball. Like the microfracture knee surgery in basketball, that's thought to be like a career ender. Some guys come off of it, but like Greg Oden, for example, had that microfracture deal, and it's like he was just done. That's different. Braden, what up, Braden LaRussa? Hope you're doing great, man. Got to see your parents at a Christmas party a few weeks ago, man. We were talking about you. Hope you're doing great, man. Devin, good morning. Go this way. Cortland, thank God for crazy contracts. So impatient, delusional fans and boosters can't fire the coach after 3 seasons. That's one way to look at it, Cortland. Matt, 7th ranking is based on who LSU lost. Oh, got it. Okay. Brett, tell Musso he's doing a great job filling in. Bright future ahead. Will do. Jason, good morning. Let's see. Go ahead and ponder what Nuss has done and is continuing to do for the program. Bleeds purple and gold. Ryan, excited about Perkins coming back. Hope we use him the way we did year 1. He was unstoppable. The thing about him making money as an edge rusher, though, is like he's not a 4-3 edge. He's not big enough. So, like, he would be a liability against the run. It's why he has to play that nickel Sam role, right? So you say he'll make more money as an edge rusher. Not exactly, because people want to compare him to someone like Micah Parsons, who's 260 pounds. Like, he's not Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons can play on the end as a 3-down edge because he can also help against the run. Perkins, he'll get swallowed up by a 320-pound athletic offensive tackle against the run. Like, so he's got to play in space. So he's got to play that sort of nickel Sam role, that hybrid role, because he's a tweener. He's not big and physical enough to play off-ball linebacker, and he's also not big enough to play defensive end. So you have to find that spot, which I think is going to be this spot, that star linebacker role playing out in space. So is there bidding war for Jacoby Matthews? No, there's not. I don't know that there's interest in Jacoby. I was told yesterday that LSU has not even made contact with Jacoby Matthews, and he would be a last resort at this point. But again, they have a silent commit from someone currently playing in the college football playoff at safety. But you got to land it, right? Club, good morning. Go this way. Hope you're doing good, Club. Happy New Year, man. Pierce, Jacoby Matthews mentioned. Dude, Pierce, people have been asking about Jacoby for a long time now. I mean, I think you might be one of them. Lance, what apps are site used for your sports bets? Well, as we mentioned on AFR, DraftKings, and as we mentioned on Locked on LSU, FanDuel. There's a lot of great ones. You could certainly shop around to find best lines. But I'd stick with those two because those are the two that really support us. Cortland, feel like Sooners are about to become Nebraska? That's interesting. The difference is being in the SEC, you'll still have resources. When the roster's set up, we'll be able to see what's left in NIL, not money used. Well, I don't know that like Bayou Traditions is ever going to disclose that amount for competitive balance reasons. But, I do believe, and one of the reasons that I am willing to find those numbers and share them. Number one, I think people who are contributing to the collective should know how their money's being spent. That's one. So there's an accountability piece to that. And I think there's people associated with the collective who feel the same way in LSU. The other part of it really is a catch-22. When I put out the dollar amounts, like for example, when I put out the 1.5 for Bryce Underwood that LSU had offered, the 1.25 for Jakeem Stewart, the $800K for Cade Phillips. I told you Nussmeier is getting a shade under $2 million next year. it's a double-edged sword. When you put out those numbers, it sends a very clear message that LSU has money and is willing to spend. However, the flip side of that is internally, could you be breeding resentment on your roster when a guy knows he's getting X and then sees, oh, they offered this Jakeem Stewart who hasn't taken a snap, they offered him 125 and I'm making X? You could create issues like that internally. But that's where that's just something else that a coach, staff, player personnel, all that they have to manage. Merrick, is Mickey Loomis the worst GM in the NFL? It's hard to argue to the contrary at this point, considering the cap situation, the general lack of talent on the roster, the overall lack of health of the organization. I don't know if he's the worst in the NFL because he is a GM that's won a Super Bowl. But right now, I could say it's fair to say he's done the worst job this year in the NFL. Let's see. The way you talk about Womack and Ryan going to Ole Miss is my concern about portal guys coming to LSU. We get a transfer with a lot of experience, but a Sage Ryan type experience. That's a great question. And that's what we'll find out in time. But like what I would tell you, Gulf South, is like, look at Patrick Payton. Like Patrick Payton has skins on the wall. The guy's got 16 sacks and 31 TFLs during his career. Like that's an obvious guy. Like there wasn't a question about Walter Nolan going from Texas A&M to Ole Miss. He was awesome. Right. There's not a question about Berrien Brown or Nick Anderson. Like, I think it's fair to ask the question about Jakeem Jackson, Sadir Mitchell, Destin Hill. These are guys with a ton of talent, but haven't quite made it work yet at their current school in a big way. So you're kind of betting on the upside a little bit there. But when you talk about Bauer Sharp, okay, well, Bauer Sharp was a 40-plus catch guy in the SEC this year. He showed you he could do it. That's a big difference. It's not having just played. I would compare Sage going to Ole Miss more to like Gio Paez coming to LSU this year. Guy played a lot of football, was looking for an opportunity to move inside and play, what he thought was a maybe more natural position, played a ton of snaps, was a really good player for you this year, but but he wasn't Walter Nolan, right? I think that's probably the difference. All right, y'all. Derek says Brian Kelly on the hot seat if LSU misses the CFP. I mean, yes, but no. I mean, remember, his contract is 90% guaranteed for the duration of the deal. So, like, if you wanted to fire him after next season, the buyout would be in the $50 million range. They're not paying him $50 million. So, you got to make it work. David asked about Trey Holly. The next court date, I think, is scheduled for February. So hopefully there's resolution then. All right, whoever that guy was that was like spamming the chat, I just blocked him. Sorry. Jason H. Allen, when can the 25 early enrollees join the team? Now. I mean, like DJ Pickett's already there going through bowl practices, but most will be there for spring semester. And so they can go through spring football. I think Brian Kelly said it was 16 early enrollees. Brett, Brian, Jim, the class of 25. Got it. Class of 25. But that's how things work, man. Like, I have to be like over the top with the qualifier because that's how things go, man. Look. Yeah, I mean, the one that like I've told you all this before, excuse me. The one thing Like, I don't get bothered by a lot. Like really what people say about me. Like, you can't do the job I do well and care about other people's opinions of you. You just can't. Like, you can't do the job well if you're constantly seeking people's affirmation and validation, because it's just impossible. Like, you're never going to get everybody to like you, and that's okay. But the one thing that really bothers me is when I get you said fill in the blank and it's not what I said. That really bothers me, because we live in a digital age where everything is recorded, and it's easy to go find what someone actually said, but a lot of people are just lazy and don't. There was someone on Twitter a few weeks back who said that I'd been reporting the Tommy Rees thing, Tommy Rees to LSU to be OC. I was like, I went back and like got the clip and said, no, look, this was exactly what I said, which wasn't that I reported anything. I gave my opinion that it would make that, like, what we know is what I just said. Brian Kelly wanted to hire Tommy Rees. Like, this is a fact. Brian Kelly offered the OC job to Tommy Rees when he got hired at LSU. Tommy Rees made the decision to stay at Notre Dame. Like, that is a fact. Brian Kelly tried to hire Tommy Rees here. Like, that's not something that's unknown. That is a confirmed fact. And I said, it would make a lot of sense if you went and hired Tommy Rees to be the tight ends coach. That's what I said. And so then someone put on Twitter that I'd been reporting for weeks that Rees was going to be the OC. Not true. It was actually like 5 days prior and was an opinion about tight ends coach. So it does matter. Like, people hear what they want to hear sometimes. So yes, that's why sometimes I have to be so, like, I mean, like the BK Michigan stuff last year was another example. Someone asked me a hypothetical. I gave a 60-second qualifier for it, and somebody watching clips it, puts it out there like I'm projecting Brian Kelly to Michigan, which was not at all in any way what would happen. So yes, like, I am gonna, especially in this format where it's much more casual, I'm gonna be much more careful, and I'm gonna put out a million qualifiers and be over the top about qualifiers when I'm giving you an opinion, because I don't want someone to misconstrue what I say. Hey, Carl, good morning. Miss you on radio in New Orleans. Hey, man, we're working on it. Last Tuesday, had a really good meeting with a potential affiliate. So hope to have an answer soon, man. Hey, Dee Dee, good morning. Give your mama and her father, Uncle Billy, a hug. I will. So mom and dad are in Kansas with Alicia's family right now. And Gramps is here with Kenny and Nancy this week. So, but I'll let him know. Will do. Austin, what's good, man? No worries. Everyone loves a redemption story. Would love to see it, man. Joseph, good morning. Is the star position similar to a 3-4 outside linebacker? Yeah, so that's the spot. Some call it a nickel Sam. Some call it a star. It's the spot that Major Burns played this year, where you're basically a box safety. You're a box safety that's helping against the run, that can rush the passer, but that can also cover the slot, cover a back out of the backfield or a tight end. It's a very versatile piece, but yes. Gulf South, what team we want to root against in the CFP so LSU can take their safety? I don't know. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know the name of the player or the team that player plays for. No one has disclosed that to me. And I kind of understand, like, if you're in a silent negotiation, you don't want that out there. So I get it. But when the time is right, I'll get the information. We'll all know it. But I mean, the context clues are everywhere. Brian Kelly said it. They're going to get offensive line help and back end of the defense. And we all know they need safety help, and they're going to do it. They're going to add a safety. They've gone after safeties in the portal already. They have money to spend. Like, it's going to happen. Hey, morning, Matt. Heard from a credible source Tommy Reese loves to run the toss dive. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Let's see. Mike, comments from LSU fans in the AFR LSU page. Frustrating. Damned if you, damned if you don't. Candidly, Mike, when I'm off, I am unplugged from AFR. So I don't watch or listen or check the comments or anything like that. When I do this, I'm still doing Locked On every day. I do Morning Scone every day, but I'm not plugged into that. So I'm not sure what people are saying there. Ryan means someone on the edge. Talking about Perkins. I don't know, man. He led the team in tackles, but he was never there. I just think, I talk about it all the time. We're all guilty at times of confirmation bias. You look for things to confirm your opinion. And so this happens with fan bases all the time. Like, you convince yourself of a narrative. And so when something happens to confirm that narrative, you say, you see, and then you never pay attention to the things that disproves the narrative. I think Sage Ryan was an example of that this year. When Sage Ryan missed a tackle or didn't make a play, people, he stinks. He's the worst ever. But what you didn't notice was he was actually your most reliable safety and one of your highest graded defensive players this year. He's not great. He's never going to be a great player, but he was a solid player for you at safety this year. Again, not an all-conference caliber player, but a solid starting player in your secondary. You can absolutely improve and get better safety play. Of course you can. But nobody pointed out the fact that this was easily Sage Ryan's best season because he was finally playing his natural position. I didn't see much of that at all this year. What I saw a lot of was when there was a coverage bust or something, it was, you see, he stinks. Anyway, I think it's a lot of that with Perkins as well. Danny, there's a safety from Tennessee that hit the portal yesterday. Wonder if he's the mystery player. I don't think that's the case. Because Tennessee's not playing anymore. And the conversation I had yesterday is the player's still playing. So I don't think that's the case. Charlie, Mike, does Mrs. Benson care about New Orleans sports? Yeah, man, come on. Anyway. There you go. Mike, any insight on Mrs. Benson handling the state of New Orleans teams? I mean, Mike, my opinion of an owner is always, what I want from an owner is to be willing to spend money to hire good people and get out of the way and let them do their jobs. Mrs. Benson has spent a buttload of money. She's gotten out of the way and let people do their jobs. They're just doing their jobs poorly. So it's on her, I think, to step in and replace those people that are doing their jobs poorly. We'll see if she will. How much do you think it's Lane trying to troll or flip off LSU? What do you mean? Charlie, I didn't see your first one, man. Sorry, I must have missed your first comment. Matt, with the uptick in portal spending, does that mean existing roster players get a raise? Yeah. But remember, you also have revenue share coming into play. And I know I've explained the difference between the two at times, but remember, NIL is exclusively from NIL fundraising. Revenue share is Charlie, this star like the drop linebacker. For those that don't know, the drop linebacker was made famous or infamous by Lou Tepper, who was the defensive coordinator at LSU in 98, 99 under Jerry DiNardo, who literally wrote a book, Complete Linebacking. And poor Thomas Dunson has just become a decades-old punchline because he was the drop linebacker. The defenses were terrible. It didn't work. And anyway, so that's what Charlie's referring to. Back to the point about rev share. So remember, $20.5 million of athletic department revenue will be shared with the athletes across all sports. Brian Kelly, the number he used, 13.5 million. Let's say 13.5 goes to football. Well, now, in addition to NIL, you've got that 13.5 to be distributed among your roster. So the reason partly that LSU's been so effective in this portal cycle is you have all that revenue share coming, but you have this glut of cash to spend now on top of revenue share. So you can say, hey, we've got 300 committed to you in the fall as part of our revenue share, but here's 300 now cash up front, right? I mean, that's a hypothetical. I'm just saying that's kind of how that can be done. Like Nuss, for example. Nuss is not getting $2 million of the revenue share. Whatever his number is going to be equitable within the whole roster. But on top of that, he's able to get a huge deal with the collective through NIL, sort of like front loading the deal, if that makes sense. Why do fans think your reporting of a safety target is tampering? I probably just, they don't understand, but I've tried to explain that. It's the way these deals are done are agents, representatives, third party goes and shops the player on the player's behalf. They go and see what is out there. So tampering is if a school contacted the player. That's not happening. But every player has an agent now. So the agent is going out, agent, representative, family member, whoever, is going out seeing what deal is available, the best deal available for their player. Well, there's a player who's currently playing on a team that's in the portal, or that's in the playoff. Well, keep in mind, like, you're playing into the playoff. Well, the portal closes today. What about the teams that are still in the playoff? If a player on the team wants to know what their market value is, well, the only way you can find that is if you go into the portal, which means you'd have to leave your playoff team, or you have a third party go find out what your market value is. So that's how it's done. You can call it tampering, but by the legal definition, tampering would be if a staff member contacted a player directly before they were in the portal. That's not happening. What is happening is what I just described. Player, let's say hypothetical, player playing for Oregon, curious what his market value would be, hires an agent. Agent goes and finds who's spending money, who needs a safety, what would they be willing to pay, and then you could sort of do it that way. You may not like that. That's how it's done, but that's how it's done. That's how it has to be done because of the way the thing's currently set up. I remember Kelly trying to bring Reese and Freeman. Thought it was major red flags. Both turned him down. Freeman got the head coaching job. The thing to remember about Tommy Reese, though, is Tommy Reese played at Notre Dame. He was comfortable at Notre Dame, like wanted to be there. It was just interesting that a year later he left for Alabama. But Tommy Reese and Brian Kelly have a great relationship. Like, I don't think that should be debated. Reese played for Kelly for 4 or 5 years and coached with him for 6 years. But it was his alma mater, man. And there's a lot, trust me, as a guy whose brother is a Notre Dame alum, there's a lot of people who, like, they love that university. It's like they're very connected to it. Cortland, you think it's a red flag guy chose to? That's true that when Aranda left, it was after they fired Pelini. They went after Freeman, but Freeman went to Notre Dame. Was it Pelini? Or was it after Aranda left, when he left Cincinnati and went to Notre Dame? I can't remember which one, but that's true. Ed tried to hire him, Freeman. But then Kelly did try to bring him as well, but he got the head coaching job. And that was one thing Notre Dame did that sort of kept the whole thing together, right? Should football recruit like baseball does and only go after top tier people, hit or miss, then attack the portal? That's kind of what they do. That's what they're doing. I don't think Gail Benson's going to sell the team while she's alive. I mean, that's written in her will, like that Dennis Lausch will be the executive of her estate. So I don't think so. Will you buy fireworks? I won't. But if you are going to buy fireworks, you should go to Toby Tomplay's fireworks stand on Highway 42 in Prairieville. If you turn off the airline onto 42, a little ways down on the right, you'll see the giant inflatable gorilla. Go by and have him sing the AFR theme. Mr. Toby Tomplay, who also did the Parish Construction and Roofing jingle. So if you're going to buy fireworks, Tomplay's fireworks stand, 42 in Prairieville. Turn off the airline on 42, a little ways down on the right, giant inflatable gorilla. Can't miss it. Tremaine, Matt talks for a living in person. He's really quiet. Sometimes, Tremaine. It depends, man. KP, what's good? Possible tight end coach. We actually got into that just a little bit ago. My opinion is I think Brian Kelly will try to hire Tommy Rees. Currently tight ends coach for the Cleveland Browns. You got 2 more games in the NFL. A week from Monday is Black Monday in the NFL. I think by that point, NFL season will be over. LSU season will be over. I think probably so. Trey Holly is not in jail. No. Imagine how much better the situation would have been had Notre Dame not hired a first-time head coach and Freeman came with Kelly. Yeah. Thomas, get another jingle. Cade, good morning. We still swinging the land attack from the portal? Yes. Portal closes today, but remember the caveat is every team, the portal stays open 5 days after your bowl game. So for LSU players could enter the portal 5 days after the Texas Bowl. So do you think Toviano could be a starting safety? Maybe, and they did move him to safety. So he's no longer at corner or in the star role. He's playing safety. I just think if he's going to win a starting job, he's going to have to beat out whoever they bring in via the portal. Remember, Deshaun Spears passed him last year as a freshman. I think Spears is going to get better. You got Jordan Gilbert coming back for a 5th year. And Mansour Delane might end up playing safety as well. So maybe, but he's got a steep hill to climb to get there this year. All right, we're done. Luke, y'all had bad storms yesterday. We didn't, man. But it's supposed to get bad today. So everybody stay safe. If you do find yourself having any roof issues, give us a shout. Our parish crews are out and about. We're not going to get on anybody's roof while it's raining. That's just not safe. But when the storms pass, we'll help. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Of course, Brock, Unique Physique, Restored Motions, all of our great sponsors. We appreciate y'all for being there. And of course, On Fire Athletes, the platform powered by GameCoin. It is launched. If you not check it out yet, onfireathletes.com, onfireathletes.com. It is fan-freaking-tastic. I bought the first ever digital card, which came with the physical. Where's my card? Oh. Devin Kinchin from Denim. The awesome part about this, I haven't broken the seal on it yet. So you get a digital card, but in addition to, for some of them, you can also get a physical card. And this is awesome. Watch. I'll show you the AR component. So you see there's a QR code. You hold up the QR code Watch this. Can y'all see it? Whoop. God dog, that's my finger. Flip it. Oh, there it is. God dog it. It's hard to do like this holding it. Sorry, y'all. Can you see it? And so the play comes to life on. I'm holding it awkwardly. Anyway, the play comes to life on your phone. So like you have an augmented reality card, physical card that comes with it. And this is the first one ever. I bought the first one ever the day before the platform went live. David let me on the platform, and I bought Devin Kinchin's card. So the cool thing about it, even from an NIL perspective, is like Devin Kinchin, for example, goes on, creates his card, he can sell them, and he makes money on it. And then if you're a collector, card holder, friend, family, whatever, you get the asset. So really cool. Anyway, onfireathletes.com. Y'all check it out. Okay. I gotta go. Y'all have an awesome day.